WGC, welcome back to the channel. God bless. Thank you for rocking with your boy. It is truly appreciated. So we've basically made it to the halfway point in the lifespan of Wwe 2K25. Shout out Just Brian. He dropped a mid-year review sharing his thoughts on how he felt about the current game up until this point. Personally, I agree with everything he said. If you have not checked out that video, go lock in with him, man, and let him know if you feel like Wwe 2K24 has been a hit or a miss. For me, 2K current offering lands right in the middle of the pack. While it does have some bright spots, it does leave me wanting more. But to shift gears, this video is about things I would like to see far less of, or better yet, things I would like to see removed completely. So with that being said, WGC, let's work. Up first is an obvious one that I feel like nobody's really going to disagree with, and that's the fighting stances. As I've said on numerous occasions, they look absolutely ridiculous. They're not functional. They serve no purpose. So why they are still even in this game is beyond my understanding. The only thing I could think of is maybe there's some kind of placeholder for maybe actual legit fighting stances and mannerisms. Or maybe this is wishful thinking, but possibly some limb damage selling animations. But if that is not the case, then 2K, just please remove these. Nobody likes them. Honorable mention would definitely have to be the block mechanic. Although it does have somewhat of a functional purpose, it still feels just as useless as the fighting stances. You can honestly and quite comfortably get through every single match without ever using this feature once. Matter of fact, the only time that I'm reminded that this feature even exists is when I see the goofy spamming animations that people do during matches. In my opinion, I feel like this is one of those situations where simplicity is best. Just map all blocks and dodges into the reversal system. Easy work. Shameless plug, if you would like to know more about the reversal system that I personally came up with, check out this video, man. Let me know what you guys think. As always, feedback is welcomed. Showcase mode. To be honest, man, I'm over it. That's just my take on it. At first glance, I was initially excited about the 40 years of WrestleMania, but honestly, man, after playing through it, it felt like a very unpleasant to-do list / cutscene simulator. It was just not a good time. If I have to be the one to say it, I feel like Slingshot Tech is not only very lazy, but it is not content creator friendly. It's not this profound feature that they're trying to make it out to be. It feels more like, hey, this is an easy way to not have to animate a lot of things. I actually came up with an alternate version of Slingshot Tech, one that doesn't involve real-life clips that will lead to copyright strikes. My idea involves playing through a match in its entirety from the perspective of both opponents. Once you complete a certain amount of objectives from one opponent, you will then be slingshotted over to the other opponent and you will play from their perspective. This would continue back and forth up until the conclusion of the match, where you would ultimately take control of the winner and finish the story. See what I did there? You know, because the whole tagline, Cody. Anyway, I feel like this would be a much better alternative than what we currently have. But to keep it all well stacked, man, I would not be opposed to them completely removing this mode altogether and maybe giving us something like Road to WrestleMania, which is another fan favorite mode that a lot of people have been asking for. So, just a suggestion. Universe mode. I honestly feel for the fans of this mode because it's such a dope concept in theory, but man, they be doing y'all dirty every year.
You can't keep getting away with this!
As someone who values attention to detail when it comes to gameplay, I can legit empathize with y'all, man, because I know what it's like to be begging for things that should be like a no-brainer, yet they still constantly get like overlooked year after year after year, man. It is truly nasty work. But I mean, if the things are true that they're having issues, you know, whether it be coding or something like that, man, I would rather see them just go ahead and scrap it for now. Take all of the current universe mode assets and bring it over to a more stable landscape such as the MyGM, then hey, I'm all for it. But if they rather not go that route, I would much rather them take it out of the game until they can work on it and make it something that's going to be enjoyable for the fan base instead of just disappointing them year after year. Basically what I'm saying is get it up out of there. And of course, it's time for another shameless plug. If you would like to see my universe mode ideas, please check out this video. Leave a comment and let me know what you guys think. Of course, feedback is always welcome. Instant recovery. If I'm being honest, this is probably one of my favorite abilities there is in the game. But as I've said many times before, man, not everybody should have this skill. It really cheapens the appeal of the skill and it makes the game feel way too arcadey. Either make it a payback again and assign it appropriately, or a more ambitious approach could be to simply make it a passive skill, much like the immovable object passive skill that the super heavyweights have. This could also allow them to make it a lot more versatile. Instead of it being something that would just allow you to pop back up off the ground after an attack, it could be implemented in a number of different ways. We could legit have a fighting spirit version of this skill. This could see you withstand a strong attack long enough to deliver a counter blow before collapsing to the mat. The easy and most notable name that comes to mind is Will Ospreay. Another version could be Beast Mode, drawing inspiration from the likes of Brock Lesnar's, Goldberg's, Bobby Lashley's, and more recently the Jacob Fatu's of the world. This one can see you shrug off an attack, including signatures and finishers, as well as most weapon strikes. And not only that, maybe it'll do something like give you full momentum. And the last version could be more so like the Phenom / Eater of Worlds style. And honestly, the best way to describe this one is it basically works in the same way that the freeze ability works. Only difference is that it has a chance to activate under certain conditions as opposed to it being something that the player controls. Also, not to mention the difference between the variants that I just mentioned would be the percentage in which they pop and the number of times that they would pop during a match. So something like Beast Mode is only going to pop once per match, whereas something like the Phenom ability may happen several times during the match. Fighting Spirit may pop several times during the match, but never during like a signature or finisher. So as you can see, there's levels and subtle differences. But anyway, before I get too carried away with the rambling, I just feel like passive skills is an interesting concept, and it is one that I would like to see have a much larger presence in this game. I just feel like it would really help diversify a lot of wrestlers. They do exist in some form in the My Faction mode, but I would love to see it cross over into other modes in the game. But back to the subject at hand, instant recovery needs to go back to being a respected skill, which means removing a one-size-fits-all mentality when it comes to this skill. Weapon restrictions. This is one for the life of me I cannot understand, man. Why are weapons so limited and restricted? Seriously, man, it's about time for 2K to go ahead and take them handcuffs off. We should be able to do a lot more with weapons in terms of usability and especially with interactions. We need things like weapon grapples, double team weapon grapples, down weapon grapples, limb damage weapon grapples, weapon physics that allow us to perform moves on top of weapons, being able to stack tables, open chairs, jump from ladder to ladder, allow us to perform a ladder bridge inside the ring, using the ring ropes and a ladder that's already set up in the ring. This spot has been in ladder matches for at least the last 5 years or so. But probably the most standout egregious crime is not being able to perform dive-in finishers off ladders and other heightened surfaces. And I'm sure there's a lot more that I didn't mention, but the fact that we can't even perform like a fraction of this is tragic, man. Like 2K, really, what are we doing at this point? Like, why is your fan base still begging for the same features that they've been begging for over 10 years? Now, to be fair, you can see they have made some strides with this. I mean, as you can see with the ECW pack, they did give us the Sandman White Russian leg sweep with the kendo stick. Then we got a football. I realize some of y'all might still be salty about that, but I rock with it. And plus the ability to throw weapons is nice too. I mean, so it's possible, but at this point, man, stop trying to drip feed us. Dude, we starving. Come on, bro. Stop playing. But WGC, y'all already know what to do, man. Hit me up down in the comments and let me know what are some things that you would like to see removed from this series, whether it be gameplay elements, game modes, game philosophies, whatever. I would love to hear how you guys feel about this. As always, I appreciate you guys giving me a piece of your time. Do me a favor, if y'all have not subscribed already, go ahead and do that. Also, leave a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. Love y'all. All glory to God. And remember to always try to be a blessing to somebody. Yeet.